Hey guys, as always, it's the Digital Pumpkin Cat, and today we will be looking at Lowe's 2025 manager meeting, showing off a lot of their new Halloween 2025 props. Some I am pretty excited for, and of course some are not terrible. None are terrible. I just think a lot are lacking this year, and this is probably the third best year Lowe's, which is not bad, but comparing it to other years, there's really no competition. So this year I just feel like it's kind of lacking, but most of the stuff is pretty okay. Some of the stuff I do really like. I actually like a bunch of them, a good handful. So we also got demos, so that's pretty cool too. And I mean, some I'm disappointed with, some I'm excited to see with, some are pleasant surprises. So let's just get right into it, and I'm excited for the fully leaked demos.
Without doctor, it's just stretch and close things. Other thing. Now it's the blue. Next thing you know, it's you.
So, I was pleasantly surprised that we got a full-length demo of this guy. Nonetheless, really excited, because this is definitely one of the highlights of the lineup, and one of the most hyped up, for good reason, Balloon Dog Clown. I've always liked him since I first seen him. His animation is awesome, as you just saw. The jump scare was very unexpected, and it does it really effectively, unlike the SVI lungers. And I really like that mech, and they should start using it more. And yeah, I just really love how he does the jump scare. It works too, since he's like handing out the balloon dog. I would honestly argue the balloon dog itself is a jump scare. Nonetheless, a really unique concept. I love how the mouth comes out to bark at people. Again, that's pretty scary with it lunging at you like that too. And the teeth are awesome. I love the teeth on the balloon dog. Again, this strikes me as a very creative and just a very creative and unique clown in general. I love the look. The look of the whole thing is, I love the dark color scheme, but then again, you have the more vintage, antique look that Waving Wally and so much other clown share that I think should be used more. And I just think it really looks good and complements the rest of the prop. And honestly, Lowe's makes the best clowns. I'm just going to come out and say it, because they tend to make creepy clowns. And this guy definitely falls into the category of creepy, like Silent and Deadly, again, Waving Wally, Teddy Bear Clown even. And I just love me a good creepy clown. We get too much clowns with blood on their mouth, and I'm starting to get a little sick of those. So this is a really just fresh breath of air, and I'm really enjoying it. I just hope he's not $350. The audio is probably honestly the best part. I love how he changes from goofy to just demonic. I just think this is a really creative, just clown in general. So, wow, that demo was pretty awesome. Before we get to him though, we have other props to take a look at. Let's just start off just around. Yeah, so Plague Doctor, he's stupid, short, ugly, dumb, I don't care. These two in front were unexpected. They're honestly both pretty creepy. I do like the dolls. The little girl is kind of dumb looking, but again, they are pretty creepy and I guess okay fillers. The dolls, I think their head turns to each other. I guess that is pretty cool, but again, I mean, pretty creepy props to put in a corner or something. I don't hate them. But, you know, they're kind of unnecessary, but I guess talking too much about them. We're getting a Peekaboo Penny reskin. I love Peekaboo Penny. I wanted her to return. And honestly, if Lowe's can't make her return, and they know it's a really amazing prop and popular, why not reskin her? I think that is genius on Lowe's part. This is like a 10 times better Dagger Mike. I've always liked me a good dunce clown prop. I always think they work in just the favor of creepy clowns in general. And I do like Dagger Mike. This is a million times better. Love that face. I love the clothes. And the jump scare is obviously going to be great already. The audio is probably a scream. I just think this prop is going to really work out, and I can see it being better than Peekaboo Penny herself. And in the back here, of course, we got the elephant in the room. Probably, so far, my favorite prop from Lowe's 2025. This is a pop-up gravedigger. It doesn't strike me as a gravedigger. I like how it looks like kind of a masquerade type character, which I think is a really, really cool concept. I mean, but Lowe's did name it a gravedigger. But again, to me, it's not a gravedigger. Anyway, I just love the feel and vibe and concept of this guy. I love how his face and stuff is green. That's pretty cool that I didn't like initially, but I think it works. The clothes look very detailed, so does the rest of the prop. And I love what he's holding, the spectacles and pocket watch, and his jump scare. I mean, this is gonna make a lot of people not like him, since he's obviously not a Mr. Dark reskin. But I was never expecting that, so I don't care. And at least he does do a jump scare, because this guy would be really cool without a jump scare too. So I don't even care. The jump scare is also pretty, like, it's still really good, honestly. I like the pop-up pumpkin reskin. And, I mean, I really like how his head looks down at the end too. That's a big plus for me, because it just makes sense when he's jumping up and looking down at you. That just makes it so much scary and just more intimidating in general, and I find that really impressive. So this prop is honestly almost a 10 out of 10 for me, and I just really love that scream at the end. Just very unique character. So we don't have the best picture here, but the video was pretty cool and actually showed a lot. So again, we'll just go over them one by one. The Reaper back there, you can't really see him, but he's just a generic white Reaper. I mean, at least they're not doing the whole black cloak thing, because, I mean, it's generic, it's stupid, but it did seem to be on a pedestal, which I thought was kind of cool. Didn't really make sense, but okay, I'll take it. And it is doing that thing where it rings a bell. That is a really neat concept that I wish was on another prop. Because, I mean, it could work on a Reaper, you know, like ringing them from the dead. Or, yeah, I guess just seance, something like that. I mean, that is pretty cool. But the way they executed it is just so bland and boring. I wish the bell was on another prop, because this just does not make sense and is the only good part about him. The Gravedigger, I mean, I'm pretty let down. If the mouth moving is the only thing he did, what a freaking letdown. He better do something else. But, I mean, movement usually doesn't the whole thing that makes a prop good. But this Gravedigger needs movement to be good. I mean, the face is just Carnival Barker's head, which I think that is pretty cool. But I was definitely thinking this would be made by Techie, but I guess not. And, I mean, the only thing going for him, the looks. I mean, the looks are very realistic, but not realistic enough to get him far. So this might be just a letdown if that's the only type of animation, so I hope we get something else. Werewolf is pretty cool. He's kind of generic. I like the white fur, and the clothes are pretty cool. I like how they do that. The chest is all ripped, and the animation is pretty neat, but nothing too impressive. I mean, just howls at the moon, which is, again, pretty neat, but it's a fine werewolf for the most part. And then the 10-foot scarecrow, which I really hated, but I'm actually enjoying it. Looks 10 times better than it did in the leaked photos, and now it doesn't look like it's wearing a dirty napkin, so, you know, that's always a plus. That animation is so good. I love the swing. It's just such a neat animation. The animation kills it here. In a good way. Very good way. And I love it. Love the animation. The looks, it doesn't look as bad, you know, and it kind of looks classic and almost whimsical, and I'm starting to really like this thing. Maybe I'll like it even more as time goes on. But some pretty cool majority of props we got here. Here is definitely the biggest letdown of Lowe's 2025 Halloween lineup, which is saying a lot, basically. And these, of course, this picture is pretty cool, actually. So in the back, we've got the Master Gracie changing portrait, aging man portrait. It looks pretty cool, and I'm glad we're having that. Again, I have a Haunted Mansion theme, so these are most definite pickups for me. Then the tombstones are nice. The dog one is pretty cool. Caretaker, love him. He's great. Headless Knight, I hope I pick him up. These three, I really did want to come home with me. I really wanted Hitchhiking Ghosts, but they looked good. They looked good in the photos, and they looked good. They look good here. They look pretty accurate. I don't get the people who are saying they don't, because, I mean, as far as animatronics go, like retail, they look pretty damn accurate and pretty good. I love the suits and everything. The elephant in the room about them is, of course, since I can't talk about animation or anything, why are they tabletops? Somebody please explain right frickin' now. Freaking Jemmy, what the hell are you thinking? What the taking frickin' shortcuts? Seriously, Jemmy? So the knight is obviously regularly standing, and he's like 6 foot even without his head. Caretaker's on a pedestal, so I guess we can't compare them. But you can see the cat tombstone behind them. That's specifically 3 feet right there, and it's on like what, a 1 foot pedestal. So that's about 4 feet, if I were to guess and make a clear estimate. 4 feet straight back there. And this guy, Ezra's hat, goes like almost right up to it. So that would mean the tallest ghost in the Hitchhiking Ghost trio is only little less than 4 feet tall. What the hell were they thinking? These are probably now considered tabletops. My money was most definitely going to these three, no matter how expensive, no matter what it does. But guess what? Jemmy, you screwed it up. Now, here we have the one everybody's talking about, the 12-foot vampire. And, I mean, honestly, it is pretty cool. I'm kind of done with these 12-footers needing to make sense. I just like my realism in props. But cartoony props is also good. So, if we come across a 12-footer that doesn't make sense, once in a while it's fine for me. But I just kind of like a good touch of realism to the character, you know? I mean, I think this guy would be way more cool at 8 feet even, nonetheless, maybe even 10 feet, just even 6 feet. I would love it much more. Probably the best vampire prop of all time at 6 feet. 12 feet is pushing it. And that's just because, I mean, you know, makes it $400. You can't fit it in your house. It's very limited to where you put it. But it is pretty impressive, so, you know, again, I'll give it a pass. It does look pretty cool. We don't get a shot of it in action, but I'm guessing the head just turns, the mouth moves, and of course you got that flame effect down there. So it's kind of going to be like the gravedigger. The lantern is pretty cool. I do like how he has that. The proportions are huge here, and I find the proportions to be very well matched up. We don't see that in a lot in 12-footers, but this guy does look like, he looks like a small prop, and that is a very, very good compliment, because that means the proportions are all laid out, and he's not small. Again, he's 12 feet. And the hands are huge, the head is huge. I don't like how the arms are very skinny. I mean, he could just be skin and bones there. But, I mean, yeah, that needed to be a little more bulked out. The clothes, again, are just phenomenal. I love those clothes. Techie did a good job on him. I mean, he is a really cool 12-footer, but I wish he was smaller. Now, who is this? This is, like, the only photo we have of him. And I love what I'm seeing here. This is pretty cool. I really want to know more about this mystery prop, but I mean, his face is so freaking detailed, so well sculpted, so realistic and just cool looking and has such character. So does the clothes. The clothes look amazing. And he's holding like a lantern or something, which I just love. Maybe even a candy bucket. That would be cool as a greeter. And he looks very tall in the photos. And is he see-through? Or is that just a projector chest illusion? He's probably see-through, but see-through is really, really cool. I love how he's see-through. That just reminds me of Rick Ratman and See-Through Cindy, and you know I love those props. But this guy using the see-through factor as like an illusion and not something gory is just really cool in my opinion, and I just love his character. I need to know more about this. Now, like, nobody's talking about this, and if they do, it's negative. I love this thing. I love what I'm looking at so far. It looks very, very creepy. I love that creepy look. It looks scary, honestly. Like, this in this corner, with that red light, looks scary. It's a classic witch, and, I mean, I just love the look, and I'm digging it, and it's probably made by Techie, and, I mean, I'm just loving it. I love this thing. And there's another photo with the head up, and that probably means it's a jump scare, and with a creepy-ass face like that, you know it's going to be a good jump scare, and if it's Techie, you know it's going to be good. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited to see what this thing does, and nonetheless, it already is pretty creepy. So, this thing needs more love. This is stupid. I mean, the amount of witches we get stirring cauldrons is just so freaking annoying and stupid. And do they do anything different? No, they're all the same. The only two cool things about this in particular is the bone is... I like the bone. The bone is pretty neat. And her face isn't all that bad as a lot of the other SVI witch faces. But yet, guess what? At the end of the day, it's still a stupid witch with a stupid cauldron doing the same stupid thing just for money. And this one looks like it's going to be in stores. So, you know, that sucks. So, this is an interesting photo. Emily and Victor, of course, they're not going to be cheaper. Their animation's not going to be as good, and their quality is going to be lacking. In terms of looks, though, they do look worse. I mean, why is Emily's eyes so big? Victor does look good, honestly. Emily would look better if her eyes were smaller, but they look almost, I think, one-on-one with the Spear Halloween ones, and they're made by a whole different company, so I find that pretty suspicious. They're holding the same things, you know, and I doubt they're going to have the same animation, so they lost in that department, and Emily just looks a little derpy. But yeah, that's what I think about them. $500 probably each. Sparky. I did not know we were getting Sparky. Now, Sparky is very cool. I've always wanted the Corpse Bride spirit stuff, and now we have a third one, Sparky. And I bet you Spirit's going to come out with their own Sparky, so it's going to be a pretty neat comparison there. Yeah, Sparky looks really good. I love how he looks very accurate, and looks very cute. Casper the Ghost Blow Mold is pretty cool. We got this little cartoony dancing DJ thing, and I mean, kind of targety if you ask me, but not my cup of tea. Would fit in like a cutesy section of a haunt, and I mean, yeah, it's weird. We've got this Mickey Mouse mummy, which, like, nobody's talking about, and I love the Mickey Mouse props. You know, the Santa Mickey Mouse, and then at Lowe's we had the Nutcracker Mickey Mouse, and now we have the Mummy Mickey Mouse. And I love this thing, honestly. It's not my cup of tea, and I wouldn't display it in a haunt, but honestly, for just Disney stuff and just how it looks, I love it, and it looks like it's gonna dance. It's really cool, honestly. So it said it was going to be a 10-foot spider, and obviously it isn't, but it is 3 feet, and I mean, it still is pretty cool. We do get giant spiders, but this one in particular is still pretty cool looking with the purple. Gives Oogie Boogie vibes, and I still like it. It'll probably be like $500 though, and it's fully blow molded, which is cool. This giant skull brown groundbreaker, I like how it is detailed, and the purple again is nice. I do like the purple on props, but it's just very unnecessary, and the proportions probably aren't even as big as Rattles or 12-foot Skeleton or my Super Skull from Distortion, so yeah, I guess it still is pretty cool. And here's probably what is the last member of the Reaper band for years to come, and I don't think they're bringing it back. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. The colors are so stupid. They take away from every single Reaper prop, including the singer. So now you have this stupid DJ as the star of your show. And in my opinion, that's just stupid. And he looks blinding, he looks dumb, and compared to all the other Reapers, he's cheap and tiny, and he just looks terrible. I hate him. But yeah, it's sad to think that this is the last member of the band. I mean, I don't really know off the top of my head right now what else they could have done, but I think just bringing back the whole band maybe would have been the best thing to do instead of bringing this stupid new member in that doesn't add anything, in my opinion, just for a tiny little cash grab. And I mean, I guess that's what most of Lowe's lineup is this time, but he's just stupid. So that was the Lowe's 2025 manager meeting, and I mean, we might get some more animatronics, we might not. We usually do that aren't shown at the manager meeting just because they're still in production. There still is a bit of time until they actually pop up in stores, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are still in production that we have yet to see. So, I mean, I hope those are better than the ones we saw. The ones we saw, I was pretty let down. I think this is their third best year. 2023 is still the best. And last year was honestly really good too. This year I don't know, they kind of fell off on some props. But again, some are still really, really good. Some I'm still excited for. I don't think there's any like really terrible ones, so that's actually good. But I think it's just that they're kind of lacking in a lot of departments this year, especially with just looks, characters, animation, and just new ideas in general. But again, they are pretty good this year, and even though I was a little let down by their props, I still think they were pretty good, and there are some heavy hitters in there. And yeah, I'm excited to see full demos of them. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, Digital Pumpkin Cat, like and subscribe.